Here I am outside the house I was born in. I don't know if it's seeable because it's quite dark tonight. Might not be picking it up very well, but this was actually built by my father and my mother in about 1962, 63, a couple of years before I was born. I was actually born in this house. My father didn't have any building knowledge at all. He just hired a book from the library. There was no Google or internet, obviously, back in 62, and the way to learn things, find things out, was to go to the library. So he did, and hired a book, and with help of some friends and some people that did know a bit about building, he got to build this beautiful bungalow. It didn't obviously look like this when we were living in it. After my mum died in 2001 or 2001, beginning of 2002, he sold it, and I believe the people that now own it rent it out, but I'm glad I'm actually getting some video of it now because it's just waiting to be torn down and rebuilt into a 5-bedroom property. Of course that makes me sad, but after my mum died it was never really a home anyway, and although I was born here, it remained in our family until my mum died. So it was the hub, it was the place, as families and homes are, the hub usually, if families are still communicating and everything. But it was for us. We used to, well, I worked here as well with my parents, had a family business that started off here in the 80s, grew, and so we moved to bigger premises, and then downscaled again during one of the recessions and came back to here. So yeah, we were always here. We were always here, really. It was the hub, and clearly I have a lot of memories. I know the memories aren't really in the house as such. It's just bricks and stuff, and the memories are inside of me. And when I actually dream, it's not this house I dream of as such. It's the house from my childhood or from certain periods of time. When I dream, it's like, obviously in dreams no time ever passes, but it doesn't look like this then. It was all completely, it is as it is now, but it was the garden was different, and there was more flowers and fruit trees, and there's a big garden at the back where my dad used to grow all his own vegetables, which is where I learned how to do it. He one of the first people to sort of do compatible gardening with just didn't, it was organic. He didn't use any pesticides or weed killers or anything. Just used to grow plants that would attract the plants or flowers that would attract the insects away from the plants. You see there's a couple of pigeons. Obviously when my mum was alive she used to feed all the wildlife, and there would always be lots of wildlife coming through the garden: pheasants, pigeons, foxes, badgers, hedgehogs, all the things I say we used to see a lot of here. And the back garden leads on to another, well, at the time there was another piece of land down there, and it had an orchard, and we used to play in that as children. And there's a back path that I'll do some footage of as well. But yeah, this is the house. that I was born in. But I'll just swing round it. There's a house there that's next door. That's where my best friend, as I was growing up, lived. And we were always in each other's houses. There were gaps in the fence then, and you just slip under the fence and be straight into each other's house. The doors were always open, and we basically just had free run of each house. She was always in mine and welcome, and vice versa. And we would go on adventures. That the gardens were our playgrounds. The field, if I swing around the field around above us, there's a field up there. I'll just go down this road. Down there was a wood and another orchard. That was our playground. Let's say walk down here, this bridle way, part of Ashell Street, which was I think part of Watling Street, quite a well-known street. Reputed to have had Boadicea or Boudica. Back in the day, riding down here to set against the Romans, but that's not been verified in any way. But we still believed it as children and used to tell each other lots of ghost stories, and imagination being what it is, believed we heard the horses and the chariots and the screams. And here is, just on this side, there's an allotment still here. People obviously able to rent at a stipend a plot of land, and it's a bit dark if I swing that way, but they come and tend their own crops, and it's nice again to see a piece of land that's been left for people to use. And here we have a field of sunflowers. Don't know if that's going to come out because it's quite dark, but we'll have a quick walk up here and see if they're all facing east. Maybe they're all lined up ready for the sun to come up in the morning, because they're all facing the same way. Oh, that's amazing. Get up here a bit more. So this was the field we used to play in, one of the many fields we used to play in, just above the bungalow. In the summer this would be wheat, and by this time of year it would have been combined, and there'd be straw bales, and we would make castles, make believe, and make our own games. You used to make your own games with your imagination. And I'm not sure if this is coming out because it's so dark. I hope so, because it's so beautiful. They look so incredible. Maybe if I go a different way, it might come out better. It's not very late, but the sun's starting to set. Earlier and earlier every night, you can feel it drawing in, ready for autumn. Sense the season changing. Let's have a look, see if there's any bees. Sometimes it's a bit colder today. The wind's shifted round to the north. Any bees about? them. Let's see, they're all facing the east. And they brighten up this dull evening. Oh, there is a bee, one brave lone little bee in there. I don't think this will pick it up, but I can hear him. Miniature suns. You see the name sunflower, very fitting. But yeah, you look, that's the Fibonacci sequence. Perfect display. Okay, let's go back. Also, when I was a bit older and I used to go out to meet my friends, I'd have to walk down here. Goes on up there a bit further, joins up with another one much further along. Still part of the old Watling Street, I believe. But yeah, I used to walk down here pitch black at night because there's no street lights. There wasn't much unnatural light then at all, and obviously I used to be so frightened, and sometimes I would whistle to make myself feel better, and then my imagination would be like, oh, don't whistle, because if there's something there, you're alerting it to your presence. And then occasionally I might talk as if I was with somebody else, or I'd do all sorts of things to try and make myself feel less alone and less frightened, but it's all in the imagination. Used to get a lot of bats as well. They'd all be flying around. Nothing now, but yeah, so that's back again to the bungalow. Give it one last shot. Like I say, soon it won't be there anymore at all, which I really do find very strange when you think it's been there 50, oh, I'm 58, so 60, 61 years. Farewell. Thank you for all the lovely memories. And my mum, now no longer with us, my sister, now no longer with us. Fortunately, still have my father, who's 91 this year. Very strange. Very, very strange. Life is very, very strange. And it only feels like yesterday I was the little girl that was running down this incline. Yeah. Anyway, that's me tonight. Thank you very much. Bye.